What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Recording. Here's a bizarre story out of Google Docs. Look, we talk about on this channel a lot. Let's use pronouns, for example, as somebody who does not have quote unquote preferred pronouns. When I know somebody who has them, I happily respect them. Where I have a problem is when they become compelled speech, or when my government tells me that I have to use them, or there are fines, or you impose laws on small businesses. None of these things have been done yet in the United States, and so there's really nothing to complain about. If you want to say that you are an androgynous tree person and you're not infringing on anyone else's rights, I 100% support you living your best life. Now, Google has decided to automatically start switching out words that you might be using so that they are more gender inclusive, and changing words like chairman to chairperson, or mailman to mail carrier. This is the subtle stuff that, a year ago, people would say, oh, you're being a conspiracy theorist. Nobody wants to change the way you speak and do all this stuff. Well, it's baked right into software now. By the way, OpenOffice is a free alternative for word processing and spreadsheets and things like that. And I strongly recommend you consider giving that an install on your computer as opposed to using Google programs. Google Docs goes woke. It will now offer alternatives if users type words that aren't inclusive enough, with mailman becoming mail carrier and chairman replaced by chairperson. Wow, thanks, Google. Very cool. Google Docs will now suggest edits if you write something not deemed inclusive. The announcement was made in a virtually held Google I/O developer conference Tuesday. Other changes will see chairman prompted to be changed to chairperson. The new update will also suggest ways to avoid passive voice or offensive language. Alphabet Inc.'s chief executive, Sundar Pichai, says that he made advocating for social justice a priority in the company. Well, that's exactly what I want from a company who produces my word processing software or my spreadsheet software. In another move, the company said by this fall, its Google Pixel smartphones will better capture darker skin tones and curly and wavy hair in photos. Hey, this is fine. I mean, the fact that you're doing this for diversity and inclusion is weird, but I don't think anyone has a problem with better cameras. In another move, Google has in the past been forced to apologize over its predictive algorithms. In 2018, it was forced to remove gender pronouns from predictive text feature found in its Gmail platform. Forced? By who? Exactly who was asking for that? The feature stopped suggesting pronouns that indicate a specific gender, such as he, him, or her, or she, for fear of suggesting the wrong one, causing offense. So 100 million people, have this feature that was a nicety removed in case 7 people in the world get offended. That's why these people, these woke scolds on the internet, they think that, they think and act like they have so much power. It's because, quite frankly, they do. Google staff said at the time the risk was too high, that its smart compose technology might predict someone's identity incorrectly. What exactly is the penalty of that? Somebody having to go back and correct it? Or I'm not exactly sure what is the risk. This came after Gmail product manager Paul Lambert said in a company research scientist discovered the problem. By the way, I will now be in the process of moving all of my email away from Gmail. Can you let me know in the comment section down below who I should use? People generally say Proton Mail. Is that the one? Who should I be switching this to? He wrote, I'm meeting an investor next week, and Smart Compose suggested a possible follow-up question. Do you want to meet him instead of her? Oh, no. All you had to do was either ignore the Smart Suggest or that Smart Suggest is still 95% accurate for you. Change 1 or 2 letters. Google banned expletives and slurs from its predictive technology as well as mentions of its business rivals or tragic events. Man, this seems fine. In a style guide, already asked developers to use baffling instead of crazy, placeholder variable instead of dummy variable, and final check for completeness and clarity instead of final sanity check. Earlier this month, Facebook said it's adding more censorship to its platform with a new pop-up that asks if users if they've read an article before sharing it, and Twitter announcing that it's adding a feature that prompts users to review potentially harmful or offensive replies before posting them. The feature, which was first tested last year, uses AI to detect mean words in freshly written reply to a user before it's been posted. It sends a pop-up notification asking them if they want to review their message. This is why people are so soft. I mean, look, the block feature is still an effective feature that you can use on various platforms if you don't want to see replies from somebody. Google on Tuesday unveiled an update across many services, including Maps, Photos, and operating systems. The announcements add up to a boost for the company's smartwatch efforts, which compete with Apple Inc. for its collaboration tools and rival offerings from Microsoft Corp. Look, I don't understand smartwatches. I know many people have them, but they are a toy. They don't offer you anything your phone doesn't. It's just a $300 bill wrapped around your wrist. It's a status symbol. No different than somebody wearing a Rolex, which doesn't tell time any better than a Timex and all these type of things. But I don't understand why they're pushing so hard into smartwatches. I just don't get their purpose. This also shows Google is aiming to demonstrate its advancements in AI, which will keep users attracted to its ad-supported or paid services for shopping, communications, and more. Yeah, of course. I mean, Google Photos will now offer users a reminder that they can search Google Images for specific objects and screenshots. Google also said more powerful computer chip, TPU version 4, important to AI development, would be available this year to Google Cloud customers. I mean, yes. Unbelievable. I just opened a Google Doc, typed in human, and it got autocorrected to Hugh people. I mean, is this not what George Orwell was talking about when we talk about newspeak? That's exactly what this is. Except instead of being enforced by our government, it's being rolled out through our corporations, which are so closely tied to the government. Look, there are many free options in terms of software. Google Docs has, Open Office, and there's a million other options. You know what? Use the description or the comments, down below to share which other free tools you use. I remember when I started using Open Office, and I was a little nervous, but honestly, most of everything that I do in Excel and Word, I can do in Open Office, and it's free, or it was free at the time, I assume so. And I'm sure there are other open source business solution softwares out there that don't support the machine. We already know that software like Skype and stuff like that is being monitored by Microsoft for incorrect language, that these companies can ban you from using their software if they don't like your political opinions. So please stop supporting them. This is the latest in an absurd woke bonanza that that's going on in this country. Never mind, hyperinflation and the job market and everything going over in Israel and all this. This is what's important, making sure somebody says chairperson instead of chairman. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.